Dan is joining us every week now, and
Cool.
our friends on the Money Station, our new affiliate, love hearing about people's portfolios and markets and stuff like that. So, Dan, I'm not even rubbing it in, but
Really?
now listen, it's so nascent, right? That next week it could be 10,000, and that's not what you look to do for your clients.
Yeah, and look, as a financial advisor, I can't ignore cryptocurrency. Obviously, it's doing what we all see, what you don't fail to bring up every chance you get. So it's doing very well, and it's here to stay. 2 years ago, the conversations were, look, I'm not sure about this. There's nothing behind it. It's not gold. And here we are, 2 years later, 2.5 years later, and you see, Tesla, you see, Square incorporating it. It's becoming more and more prevalent, and and look, it's here to stay. My industry has to figure out how to use it, how to make it parts of portfolios, how to monitor it better, and that's what we did and what we weren't doing years ago.
Well, listen, first of all, I make the ultimate decisions on who the guests are on the show. And from the first time I met you, I thought that I was getting good information from you. So I'm not busting your chops, but I have for over a year and a half now, since I started the show, been consistently talking about crypto every day. Not that I have a beneficial interest in it, because I thought it would be wise for my audience members to start to learn about it and see if it's suitable for them. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
When I'm checking in, I do have people on the show who followed, I say when I'm buying, right?
Yeah.
They followed along somewhere in there who was still telling me, oh my God, this is amazing. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and there's no denying, what's happened, obviously. And again, as you know, as a certified financial planner, most of what I do is longer term, generally more conservative. I'm dealing with retirement accounts. Not that I don't have people that want to speculate and be aggressive,
Yeah,
but,
right.
but 80% of what I'm doing is more long term and more retirement oriented, which I still don't think crypto fits. However, again, no denying.
It is qualified now, so you could actually buy Bitcoin in a non-qualified IRA. As like an alternative asset, because they look at it.
And there's more and more, like I said, there's more and more ways to play the crypto bet using stocks and ETFs and more, traditional conventional securities that didn't, that we couldn't do 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So,
That's for sure.
So again, it's becoming more prevalent, and I can't ignore it. I'm not saying I'm putting it in everyone's portfolio, but I'm having a whole lot more conversations about it.
Well, that's good. And I'm not saying this jokingly. If there's stuff that you want a little deeper dive on, you could reach out to me anytime, because I've been on this thing from the beginning. But I think when I saw BlackRock a couple of weeks ago announce this is the largest asset manager in the world, $7.1 trillion. And they said they're going to start allowing some of their aggressive growth funds to buy Bitcoin. And these are like the brightest guys in the world. And then all of a sudden this week, Elon Musk comes out and says he's buying $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. I start feeling a lot smarter about buying it in 2015. You know what I mean?
No, and I'm having, like I said, every day now, I'm having conversations about it. And obviously it's in the news more, what it's done, the last week, the last month is remarkable. So it's certainly, it's part of my daily conversations with a lot of clients. Not that I'm incorporating it with everyone, but it's there, and we got to talk about it, and can't ignore it. Can't say, no, look, it's not viable. No, I can't do that anymore.
What about Joe Biden's stepped up estate plan, where he's talking about if you inherit a property, you used to be able to get, only the gain from where you got it to what it's worth now. Now Joe Biden wants to make it from when your parents or your grandparents bought it to now. That's got to hurt some of your planning business.
Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. I mean, stepped up basis on inherited property is, it is a gift, and people have been taking advantage of it.
You hear about this? So it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's a huge tax if you think about it.
yeah, exactly. Especially, look, you're up in New York. I mean, I know people that got properties down the Jersey Shore that 25 years ago they paid, $70,000 for them and are now worth
$1 million.
Yeah, and they're going to benefit where they would have benefited and have benefited from stepped up basis. So yeah, no, that's a game changer for a lot of people.
It's really big. I mean, all the other stuff everyone's screaming about, I'm like, no one realizes that basically, it's a backdoor. You get the first 600,000 free, right? On estate planning.
Yeah.
That's basically a backdoor to wipe out that 600,000.
Yeah, and that's obviously what they're doing. It doesn't get the headlines and it doesn't get the pushback that raising capital gains taxes or raising ordinary income taxes. It doesn't get that headline, doesn't get that pushback. But you're right, it's kind of a backdoor.
So like if your parents leave you $1 million and all this other stuff, I think it's 600,000, right? So the first 600,000 of the inheritance you have no tax on. And then you just pay the tax on whatever's above 600,000. So by doing this, if one of the assets is a property, your parents bought it for 100, it's worth $1 million. You got to pay 20% of the 900,000. That's 380,000. The whole credit is almost gone just with the house. So then you're screwed.
Yeah, and it's different because again, it now turns into an income tax because you inherit that property, and under the old laws, you could inherit it, turn around and sell it. And again, it's as if you bought it on the date you inherited it, as opposed to you bought it at the price that your parents paid for it 3 years ago. And by the way, they're going to end up increasing capital gains tax too.
Yeah, of course. That's already been told.
Yeah, so they're going to get you, a couple ways there.
Now you can't leave.
Well, that's that was California, right? Hitting you on the exit with the exit tax.
Danny, thanks a lot for joining us. The offer is open. If you ever want to rap about the Bitcoin or anything, I'm around. And
yeah, I may. Look, it's something obviously me and my colleagues need to start taking more seriously.
All right. I love hearing this. I love hearing this. All right. All right, Danny, thank you very much. Dan Hernandez, our man, every Tuesday. We'll see you next week. Thank you, brother. You guys stay right there. We're whipping down some Christopher Street wine, 90 out of 100 score on Wine Enthusiast. And we're at the 13th story in New York City. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back right after this.